Hello everyone, today we're going to go through the July market update and some of the industrial development activities in Phoenix, Arizona and how it impacts um, housing market in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome everyone back to my regular market update. This is a special episode because we are going to the end of August. So we already have all the data that we need to present for the month of July of 2023. And specifically, after going through some of the data of July 2023 real estate market, we are going to point out some of the development activities in the Phoenix area, and we kind of understand how the home prices change based on that. Okay, so let's just dive right into the information. Right here, this time we're a little bit different than the before. Is I'm actually showing you a couple of charts information about the data. Okay, as you see in front of you is the number of houses that sold in the month of July 2023. This is really important because it shows how much of the demand in the market right now. This one number right here, sold houses, 5,520 total houses that sold in the month of July 2023. And we have about 6,391 new houses yet onto the market. This is also another very important one because it shows the number of supply, a new seller, new homes that ready for sale on the market. Overall, in one time, we have about 9,909 available houses on the market. Now you may say, okay, Long, these numbers are great, but how do I know how the market changed? That's why it is important to looking at the 12 months period comparison. Okay, so this is comparison between July 2022 and July 2023. Now let's first looking at the sold houses. Okay, 5,687 versus 5,520. Okay, so you don't see a lot of changes in the number of sold houses. In fact, it is only about looking at the wrong one. It is only about 2.94% difference, right? 2.94%, 3% difference, very minimal, right? Obviously, you see from July of 2022 to July of 2023, the demand for housing in the Phoenix area does not change a lot. People are still buying in a constant basic, right? Only 3% different for the entire month. For the entire year. So regardless of even though the interest rate goes up high to 7.5 nowadays, right? The demand is still as strong as 12 months ago. Okay. So that is the first observation based on the sold houses, compare the sold houses. Well, when we go to the second chart, it's showing you the number of new houses get onto the market. And last year, we have about 11,143 houses that get onto the market back in July 2022. Now we're only about 6,391. So in comparison, we have about 42% change, 42% decrease. 42% decrease of the new houses onto the market. Why? If you recall, back in May of 2022, there's a change in the interest rate. And at that time, the demand dropped tremendously, right? The demand goes down because buyers are afraid, buyers are scared, or buyers no longer qualify for the higher interest rate. So they cannot buy. And for that reason, a lot of homeowners, especially investors, right, during that period, especially iBuyers and institutional buyers, investor, okay, right, afraid that the market gonna crash, afraid that the home price gonna drop, right? So therefore, there's a flush of there's a high number, there's an increased number of home for sales on the market at that time, and that come to the number 11,143 right here, right? Right now, most of the seller has no motivation to sell. Okay, this time already passed. In fact, December 2022 is the last month we have such a high number of listing right here. Okay, right now there's only 6,391. Now, when you compare between these, you see very similar compared to the big jump like this. Okay, right now, as of right now, most of the home sellers do not have any motivation anymore because they realize that if they sell their house, right, they have to move to a different place with a higher interest rate. Are they willing to sacrifice that? Not yet, not yet, right? And probably not, because they have to give up the 2 or the 3% and then get to the 7 or the 7.5%. Unless for some of the investors, they still have some extra. But most of the time right now, for the situation, they already convert that to a long-term rental rather than selling it off. So therefore, it's now stabilized. Like investor no longer scared of the situation like in July of 2022. Therefore, the new number of supplies dropped tremendously compared to the previous year. And as far for the available house, you probably see a big change as well, from 16,800 homes available in July 2022 down to about 10,000 homes available in July 2023. That is about 41% decrease as well. So the number of decrease is about the same for the number of new houses and the number of available houses. It makes sense, right? Because when there's a lot of house, the demand is not changed a lot. The demand is not changed a lot, and when there is an increase in new homes, the remaining homes gonna be higher than today market. And therefore, as you see, supply goes up like this, and the demand is about the same, right? The price has to drop back in July of 2022, and we saw that. Back in today, though, it's getting to more stabilized. The demand is almost equal as the new supply, right? Therefore, the remaining available houses is not so high as well, and therefore the price gonna be more stabilized. Even though it's gonna change, right? It goes up and goes down, but we're gonna talk about prices later on as well. But we can see that the 2 different months, July of 2022 and July of 2023, we can see that a lot of houses get onto the market back in July 2022, which caused a large amount of remaining houses for that month, and therefore the price dropped. We don't see that in today's market, July 2023. Talking about price, we are going to looking at the asking price and the sold price. Asking price is the price that you see when the house appears on the market. All right. Sold price is actually the price that the house actually gets sold at that number. So somebody may list their house at 450. However, though, during the negotiation, during the offering process, right, they will not get the full 450. They only get 430. This is the median sold price for the Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, so that is for July 2023. Let's compare to June of 2023. We're looking at the sold price is 8,000 drop, right? 8,000 drop since June of 2023. And then the asking price is also about $20,000 drop from 470,000, right? So everything is dropped in this month compared to the previous months. Some of you might say, oh no, price is dropping. But what are we gonna do, right? Keep in mind that this is only 1.82% of sale price, right? The asking price, well, it dropped about 4%, Okay, it's dropped about 4%. I'm not too worried about that asking price, because asking price is basically, like I said, you can offer the house. The seller can offer the house at any price that they want. However, though, if somebody may be unrealistic, right? For example, if the market price is for 50, they can ask the listing agent to, they can tell the listing agent to list at 500, for example, or 600 or 700. No one stopped them from doing that, right? And therefore, that's why I'm saying that asking price is not really important when we're talking about the home price of the market. The sold price is having more priority in terms of determine the market value for a property. In this situation, the market value doesn't change much, only 1.82% compared to the previous months. Okay, when you're looking at April, here's another chart, right? 425, and here's the rest of the chart. When you're looking at the 6 month prior and the 12-month prior. Okay, so as you see here, if you focus on the sold price, you're gonna see a drop in December from July. That's we know. Okay, we know that the market goes down, the home price goes down from 455,000 to 413. As I showed you before, because of the number of available houses on the market, keep piling up during that period, and therefore the home price has to drop. But since December to April to June and to July, right, the number is actually going better until June and then drop a little bit into July. And this is what I'm saying is that, well, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, but it's going to go down again. But the down is not much different from the lowest point. Well, it actually doesn't reach the lowest points yet for the 6 month period, right? So there's not too much of a concern. The 432,000 right here is mainly because of the season, right? July and August is the lowest month in Arizona. So we're expecting the demand is less than normal, and therefore the home price is a little bit drop. I think I would call this is more like an adjustment in price to lower a little bit during this time. Okay, so it's not gonna cause any. I don't think anyone should be panic about a small drop like this, about 1.8% drop like this compared to June of 2023. Okay. The last chart I want to show you is this gap right here, right? The gap between the asking and the sold price is 35,000 in July 2022. December is about 42. April is 28. June is 30, and July is about 18,000. All you have to worry is that July is actually the lowest gap between what the seller expects their home value is at versus the real value, the real money, the real price that the buyer is willing to pay for. And as you see, the gap getting smaller and smaller nowadays. So that obviously the seller already adjusts well to the situation in terms of listing at a fair price rather than just going crazily above fair market price and no longer get any offer. Okay. So that's a good sign for the signal when both parties talk to each other, when both parties understand each other, the market is expecting to move faster. Especially at the end of the day, the seller and the buyer, the common denominator is number, right? If the number makes sense to both the seller and the buyers, the transaction is going to go very quickly. Okay, so as the gap decrease is actually really good signal. That means that both parties agree to each other about the price. All right, so that's all the real estate data of July 2023. If you do have any question, let me know. But before I let you go, this one is actually the next couple of slides going to show you a couple of industrial development activities in Phoenix, Arizona. This chart, this information right here is given in the website called AZ Big Media. This slide, however, is prepared by the Comfort Report, a very reliable real estate data company that compile this together. As you see here, the first one, the biggest one you already hear this TSMC $40 billion investment in the North Phoenix area. That's one gonna produce about 4,500 total jobs, right? LG Engineer, thousands of jobs. There's no clear number here, but the investment amount is about 5.5% investment in the Queen Creek area. In the Queen Creek area, very a lot of people are gonna be encouraging to go to Queen Creek to work for LG if that is the case, right? American Battery Factory in Tucson. This is not in Phoenix, however, it's also create a $1.2 billion and then about 1,000 jobs created. Republic Services, 1,000 employees. Discount Tire, another 1,000. Virgin Galactic, hundreds of engineers and manufacturing jobs in Mesa, Phoenix, Mesa, Tucson, Queen Creek. In Tempe, he has moved hundreds of jobs, right? The next slide is a long list again, right? The first slide is not the bottom. Benchmark Electronics, on 100 new jobs, 20 million in Mesa. Coolidge, 500. Yuma, 60 new jobs. Hundreds of new jobs in Phoenix. Corning, Gilbert, 250. Camford, 180. JA Solar, 600 jobs. Pacific, 100 jobs, right? Next page, that's still a long list, and you see here more and more job opportunities in the Phoenix, Arizona. That's actually the last slide of number of jobs. So as you see there, there's a lot of jobs opportunities in the Phoenix, Arizona. And that is one of the reasons why the demand for housing in Phoenix is still high, either for rent or for sales. A lot of people want to move to Arizona, but they don't want to make any big commitments yet. Therefore, they start renting. Okay, well, that's good. A lot of available rental available in the area as well. And then for those of you who already familiar with the area, who perhaps maybe moved to Arizona already last year, then this is the time for you to buy the house. It's still good. I mean, people move where the job is growing. In Arizona, as you see here on 3 slices, we see there's a lot of development activities in the Phoenix, Arizona. So there's a lot of people still moving into Arizona or moving into Arizona from different states to be able to get the jobs, right? So as far for the home price, as long as the demand is still high, and obviously you see here, the supply is not going crazily compared to last year, right? So we're gonna see that a stable number of supply, a stable number of demand, the home prices therefore will not drop significantly. I'm saying that it's not dropping significantly because as it goes up, it has to go down. It goes up and down a little bit, right? Home price never be a straight line, but it goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up and then it goes down again. For those of you who are expecting a big drop in home prices in Phoenix, Arizona, we're not gonna expecting to see that anytime soon, unless there's anything else tell us that. Then we can see that it's gonna goes down. But as of right now, the number of houses is still, the number of jobs is still growing significantly, and therefore there's still a big housing demand in the Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you do have any question, feel free to let me know, and I will answer to you directly. Thank you. Bye-bye.